good right hands over the top of the jab, scores cleanly, snaps his head back with jabs, and nothing comes up for him.
To be on a roll, first he got his Canadian citizenship in time to be named to the Canadian boxing team, and then the lucky streak continued when he decisioned Omar Ahmed of Kenya in his first bout here. Actually, luck didn't have a lot to do with that win, as Defiagbon won it on points, 15-4. Now he's being introduced. Preliminary bout was never close. Today he goes against Christophe Mendy of France, and there he is. He had a lethal right that knocked Ovidiu Bali of Romania cold in their preliminary bout. Hit Bali so hard that he was out before he hit the canvas, and a hush fell over this building. Mendy is number 2 ranked in the world. Russ, the key to this fight?
The key to this fight, obviously, is to stay away from the Mendy power. That's number 1. If you're not getting hit, you can't lose. That's the first thing. He's got to move away from, because as we saw, Mendy is very nimble. He's not just a lumbering heavyweight. He's very quick, very relaxed. When he hit Ovidiu Bali with that right hand, it was just a calm, nicely thrown right hand that he stepped into with. He didn't wing it. He didn't throw it from left field. Just stepped in nice and clean. Fight done. Defiagbon's going to have to go to his right, stay away from the Mendy power, and try to score with the straight punches. He does have the height and reach advantage on him. He's got to use it and not get into a strength match with Mendy, because I think that's Mendy's favor.
Just before this heavyweight quarterfinal begins, we want to pass on some news to you. We've been informed that CABA, the Canadian Amateur Boxing Association, has filed a protest over the judging in Mike Strange's defeat. This at a cost of $100 American. Jim McGuinness of Glace Bay, who is the president of CABA, has a meeting scheduled with Anwar Chowdhury later today, following this afternoon's session, to be exact, and he'll find out then what AIBA thinks of the decision. Mike Strange still trying to digest the disappointment. Realistically, not much will come of the protest. A decision, to my knowledge, has never been overturned in amateur boxing, but at least CABA can let AIBA, that's the International Amateur Association, know of its displeasure. This heavyweight bout is underway. It's Christophe Mendy of France in the red, David Defiagbon of Halifax in the blue. Remember, the right is the major weapon for both these fighters. If one lands either way, we might not get to see 9 minutes of boxing.
And you see already, I like what I see from David. He's already staying away from the power, and he's moving away from the right hand. When he gets cornered, he'll step off to his right. When Mendy blocks off that side, he'll go to his left. Good jabs from David as he pivots out of the corner. Mendy looks like he doesn't want to go 3 rounds. Good right hand from David right over the top, and of course a point comes up for Mendy.
Look at Defiagbon now, and can you believe it, at the Olympics in Barcelona, he fought for Nigeria as a light middleweight. That's 45 pounds down from where he is now, and he was the same height. And 2 years before that at the Commonwealth Games in Auckland, he won gold as a welterweight. 50 pounds removed, or I suppose added on, from the heavyweight division.
That's what he's got to keep doing. There's the right hand over the top, but he's got to be careful, because the good counter punch against the right hand is a right hand. So that left hand must be up there. He's got to try to finish the combinations with the left hand after he throws the right. That was a good step off to the right again.
Russ, I was going to say that Mendy is just winging those rights.
He is. He doesn't look like he wants to go 8 minutes, and I hope he doesn't take it for granted that he's just going to walk through David Defiagbon.
The winner here, Russ, goes to the semis against Nate Jones of the USA, who just guaranteed America at least a bronze with his win over Tao Yang of China in the quarterfinals.
An easy bout for Nate Jones. He's been quite fortunate with the draw. We said that at the outset. The Americans were quite fortunate with the draw they got.
Defiagbon now has his first scoring shot, 1 point difference with a minute to go in round number 1.
If Defiagbon keeps staying slippery on Mendy and forces him to get wild, that could play to David's advantage. Because no matter how hard a puncher you are, Scott, I don't care if you could knock out 3 oxes with a single blow. If you don't hit the target, it don't mean nothing.
I've never seen that done. 3 oxes knocked out with a single blow. 2 I've seen knocked out with a single blow. It's not likely, though, that any amateur boxer can withstand Mendy's right, so defense all important here. They caught Defiagbon with an uppercut on the break, but no point comes up. Russ, how has Defiagbon fared in this first round?
Beautifully. See the way he's leaning away from the right hand? He's doing nice. He's very aware of it, and he's keeping his upper body very slippery by leaning away. You see him bending. When he does that and keeps the head out of the center, it's safe. You see that? Leaned away from the shot. That's the one thing Ovidiu Bali did not do. He left his head right there like a bullseye waiting to be nailed. So, Mendy obliged. 1
point gap now. 3-2 as we approach the final 10 seconds of round number 1. Nice job by David Defiagbon.
Good, smart boxing from David Defiagbon, and I'll tell you, I think that Mendy came in here underestimating David Defiagbon.
Done an excellent job of staying out of the range of Mendy's right. So the first round is over, and David Defiagbon very much in touch with Christophe Mendy. Defiagbon in his corner, much of the credit for how focused he has been in the ring goes to Taylor and Wayne Gordon at the Citadel Club in Halifax. Defiagbon, of course, a long way from his family. Found out just last year his brother had been killed in a car accident some months earlier, but Taylor and Wayne have kept him focused.
You saw that right hand there, came right over the top. Mendy threw the jab, and Defiagbon came back with the right hand. Of course, he didn't get the scoring blow for it, but it was a good shot. And there's a jab taken by Defiagbon as he's looking to get away from the right hand.
A taste of that left from Christophe Mendy. There's the count, 3-2, 1-point lead for Christophe Mendy. Mendy has 73 wins and 9 losses overall. He's got good size and skills, but he is not invincible. It was decision by Loen Krasnicki of Germany in the final of the European Championships this year. Krasnicki is world number 4.
You know, I really think that Mendy came out here, and the way he was throwing those big bombs early, I really think he came in here underestimating David Defiagbon.
Second round just underway. Christophe Mendy of France in the red, David Defiagbon of Halifax in the blue. 1-point lead for Christophe Mendy. This is a heavyweight quarterfinal. The winner is in the medals. And again, Mendy begins by winging the right.
That's what he's looking for. David has to be careful of that. Either fall inside it or get way away from it, but don't stay in that 3/4 range. Fall inside the big swing, and you'll be safe. Don't pull away from it when you're near the inside, because you'll get caught with a tail end shot. There's a good right hand from David, and that scores. Left hook on Mendy as he comes in, and a straight right hand from Mendy lands with David against the ropes, but he was leaning away, took off the effect of that blow.
Despite the fact that Mendy leads by 3, I think pretty good defense by David Defiagbon.
Very slippery, very, very slippery defense. It's just that when a guy's swinging wild, you got to be extra careful. And right now, David is relying on his radar senses to pull away from the Mendy right. And you know, sometimes those can miscalculate and you get nailed. I'd like to see him carry that left hand a little bit higher, and even if he has to, just throw it into throw his left hand into the shoulder of Mendy, and that'll take away the right hand. And it keeps your chin behind the bicep.
Mendy's begun to muscle Defiagbon around the ring, had him in the corner momentarily. Now it's a 5-point lead for Christophe Mendy. He's taking control of the fight, Russ.
He is. The strength is becoming a factor. David has hit him with some clean right hand straight on the button, and Mendy's walked through it. David can't match him with strength on the inside, but he's wise to stay tucked up when he gets on the inside. You see, what I would do there, after David throws the flurry of punches, Mendy's still coming forward, that's fine. Fall right inside with Mendy. Let the referee come and break you up. But David is obliging Mendy by himself stepping away from the clinches and giving Mendy room to punch.
Now we head into the final minute of round number 2. Defiagbon down by 4. He'll be told that he's trailing when he heads to his corner between rounds, and he'll have to pour on some offense somehow against the hard-punching Christophe Mendy.
Watch when they fall in on the inside, how David is the first one to get out of the inside. He pushes himself off, doesn't even wait for the referee to come and break them. Whereas he doesn't need to do that, because Mendy won't be able to score any blows right there. That's it, he stays right in. Let the referee come and do the work. That's it.
Defiagbon gets a point on the inside.
That's right.
So now Mendy in front by 3. Now Defiagbon trying to work behind the jab.
There's another one. He got the hook landed, and another hook comes around and gets the other point.
Oh, look at this. Now he's within 1. So things have changed considerably in the last 30 seconds of round 2.
You know, I wonder if Mendy's starting to show a little bit of fatigue. See, that's safe to be in there on the inside, and he gets another point.
Now it's tied at 8. Defiagbon suddenly boxing very smartly.
Oh, right hand over the top. Good shot from David Defiagbon.
That's the go-ahead point. Doesn't appear to hurt Christophe Mendy, but it's a scoring shot for Defiagbon. Another right lands. We don't know if that came up because the computer score was taken from the screen. We'll find out when round 3 begins. But at the very least, David Defiagbon of Canada's turned things around and is leading Christophe Mendy by 1 after 2 rounds. Russ Defiagbon loves his life in Canada. He's far away from the religious persecution that he suffered in Nigeria. You know, when he got his Canadian citizenship, and by the way, that point did come up. Look, he leads by 2 now. When he got his Canadian citizenship, he seemed to thank every single person he saw for at least the next few months, including us. Somehow he thought that because we covered him in the Nationals of Brampton, we were somehow responsible for his becoming a Canadian, and we, of course, accepted full credit.
Well, you did anyways.
So David Defiagbon, just where he wants to be now, heading for the third, Russ, leading by 2.
Look at him take the impact of the right hand off that by leaning away from it.
So then, here at the Alexander Memorial Coliseum, David Defiagbon of Halifax in the blue, leading Christophe Mendy of France by 2 points with 3 minutes of boxing left.
And there's the right hand right over the top again.
Remember, Christophe Mendy, the number 2 heavyweight in the world. If Defiagbon wins this, he'll have pulled off a major upset.
I was just going to say, if a victory here, this will be considered a major upset and one of the biggest upsets of the tournament. David, unranked and unknown and unheralded. It's Christophe Mendy, the number 2 in the world, the only man who can give Savon a battle, and now he might not get that opportunity.
And the man who unleashed the hardest punch we've seen thus far in the Olympic Games boxing tournament when he floored Ovidiu Bali of Romania in his preliminary bout. But Defiagbon's done a good job of staying out of the range of that right.
And you see, this is what I mean about head and upper body movement. By keeping that head and upper body slippery and moving it out of the way, it's difficult even when the blows land for them to land with any authority. David exploiting his height and reach masterfully. Low blow.
Low blow, and Defiagbon is on the canvas. Now the procedure here is that he'll get a standing 8 count, but that's really just to allow him to continue. But they're calling the doctor in. Will he be able to continue?
Now they're asking the judges if they've seen a low blow. The referee has to ask the judges if they've seen a low blow.
What a turn of events here. A minute into round number 3. Defiagbon in obvious pain.
Now here's the situation, what happens. If their judges have seen a low blow and they accord a low blow and Defiagbon cannot continue, Mendy will be declared the loser. Defiagbon will win on a disqualification.
But we had best see the replay before we can make any sort of determination. So the crowd booing now. Christophe Mendy may risk disqualification here. By the look of David Defiagbon, he is unlikely to be able to continue. Now Wayne Gordon, his coach, out from the corner to tend to him. When this happened, he was in front by a single point, 10-9.
You know, the thing is, sometimes a shot in boxing doesn't have to be right in the groin area for it to hurt. If it's on the side and it moves the cup into your midsection, well, that was right below the belt, but how that could have moved the cup right into the midsection, right into the groin area.
Russ, I'd have to call that a borderline low blow.
It's hard. We couldn't get it. We couldn't see a good angle from that.
Well, not from the overhead, but the first replay seemed to suggest it was right on the belt line. Defiagbon to his corner now. Mendy's got his headgear and his gloves off, so it seems this bout is over. The judges, of course, do not have the benefit of a slow motion replay.
That's why they ask all 5 judges, and you only need one to say, yes, he saw a low blow. And if you cannot continue as a result of a foul, which was seen by at least one of the judges, one judge must see it in order for you to win on disqualification. If all 5 judges say no, they saw no low blow, then he would have been counted out and lost.
Minute and 59 seconds to go in the third and final round. Defiagbon leading by 1 when this happened. What an interesting day for us here at the Alexander Memorial Coliseum. Earlier, Mike Strange lost his quarterfinal bout. The result of some very questionable judging. As we said before, Cabe has filed a protest. Now we're going to get the decision. I don't think David Defiagbon has won it.
You see,
still in pain.
David wears his shorts very low as well, so to go by the white on his trunks, I think David's going to win it on a disqualification.
We'll see if you're right.
Yes, he has! Defiagbon has won it! What a turn of events!
Christophe Mendy doesn't like it one bit. You wouldn't expect him to. David Defiagbon has at least a bronze medal for Canada.
At least a bronze. I'm sure that's not the way he wanted it. He was fighting gamely and gallantly. I know he didn't want to walk out of this building to the booze, but we have to see the replay again. And as I said, David wears his shorts quite low, so don't go by that white elastic on his waistband.
Now we talked all about the rights. Maybe the fight plan here was for Defiagbon to wear shorts low.
Yeah.
So David Defiagbon's incredible journey continues from Nigeria to Canada to the Olympics to a medal for the country that's embraced him. Defiagbon in the semifinals with a bronze medal or maybe more, and Christophe Mendy, thus far, not inclined to leave the ring.
You know, if his protest is not to leave the ring, now is probably the worst time it could be because he's the last bout, so they don't need the ring till 8 o'clock tonight.
Well, Russ, you outlined the situation very clearly. If one judge determined it was a low blow, then Defiagbon would win on the disqualification, and
as a result of a foul. Exactly.
And so David Defiagbon on to the semis with a bronze medal, and maybe his win on a disqualification. David, the question everybody has is, was it really a low blow? Where did it get you?
Sir, it was a low blow. He hit me towards the beginning of the round. He hit me a couple times there. So when I went back to my corner, I was talking to my coach, Wayne. So what I tried to do in the round, I tried to push the cup down. You know what I mean? I pushed the cup down. So when the cup was up, he hit me right there. Right. Honestly, I told the ref I wanted to continue. You know, my coach said I wanted to continue. He hit me right there. I feel it up and up.
Because the replay showed that it was on the belt line where he hit you. I guess it's a question of where the belt was at the time.
He hit me. Actually, my cup was to move up a little bit because my trunk was taped. So he hit me right there, right on my...
Did you see it, Wayne?
No, I didn't see it.
The referee saw it, and that's why the referee saw it.
The referee saw it and the judges saw it, and that's what counted. David was winning the fight up until that time. His opponent was losing his momentum, and a little bit of desperation was setting in, and we wanted to continue. And I wanted David to get up, but he only had 10 seconds to prepare himself, and the medical doctor said no, he's not fit to continue. And there's no way that we want to win a bout this way. We felt that we're fully capable of winning the bout in any circumstances, and unfortunately I feel sorry for the Frenchman, but he was going to lose anyway.
Mendy was just in here venting, and he says that you guys, the corner and the boxer, should check their conscience.
Well, like I said, I feel guilty in a way for the way he should feel, but I don't control what the doctor sees, I don't control what the judges see, and I don't control what the referee sees. They make the call. I don't make the call. I didn't see the punch. The punch caught David in the cup. It lifted the cup up, and it hurt him. He went down, and as you can see, he was in pain. There's no faking that. And then the officials make a decision upon that. At that time, even if they went to the scorecards, we were ahead. We had control of the bout. So I definitely am not going to feel guilty about it. I thought we were going to win all along.
David, Wayne just raised an interesting point, and that is that I'm sure this is not the way you were expecting to get an Olympic medal.
No, not at all, sir. I was losing by 1 point. I really wanted to continue. He hit me there a couple times before. You know, I went back to my corner. I told my coach about it. Then I pushed my trunk down. You see, I was leading on point. When I went to my corner, my coach told me I was leading.
Did you feel he was getting desperate?
No, not at all. When I was towards the end of the round, I can see he was very tired. The way he breathed, and he was missing a lot. So I was just taking my time, trying to hit him a couple times on the head. He didn't go down, so I was trying to look for the shin.
David, all of his career, has fought anybody and everybody. Anybody in Canada knows that he's undefeated as a heavyweight, and he's boasted about wanting to fight Felix Savon. There's no way in anybody's imagination that David was not affected by that punch. There's no way that David would go down if he was not hurt. The man's pride, he wears Canada's colors on his back, and he's proud to be a Canadian, he's proud to be here representing his country. There's no way he would do anything uncharacteristic.
Yeah, I guess we should also point out that if you were acting, you ran the risk of not having it called a low blow and you being disqualified.
That's right, definitely.
All right, either way it's a win. You're on to the medals. Thank you both.
Thanks, sir.
All right.
Scott and Russ, and gentlemen, you can start with impressions and take it from there.
Well, I'll tell you, Ron, if anyone was to ask you what sport do you want to cover that will generate the most scandal, outrage, and just general controversy, of course you'd have to pick boxing. You have to love the sport for controversy if that's what you like. Mike Strange, as we speak, is being represented in a meeting with AIBA, the International Boxing Association, by the president of the Canadian Association. They filed a protest over the judging in his loss to Tonchev of Bulgaria, but of course we won't kid ourselves. Absolutely nothing will come of that except the Canadian contingent will get a chance to vent. The decision will stand. Russell, what about David Defiagbon? Christophe Mendy came into the mixed media zone area after the bout, and he was bellowing that David Defiagbon was acting.
He was not best pleased, was he?
Certainly not.
You know, we only got one look at it, and from our angle it was hard to see. But, I mean, based on the integrity we have of David, I mean, I just cannot believe that in a fight where he was winning, where he was in control of the bout as well, he was controlling. Yeah, he was controlling the bigger man. I find it hard to believe that he would want to lay on the canvas and wither in pain like that. I think, in my opinion, there was a low blow. When I say a low blow, that doesn't necessarily mean exactly in the groin area. Anything below the belly button area is considered low. And you know they wear those foul-proof cups. If you get caught on the side of that cup and that cup moves into the testicle area, you know, that's going to cause you some pain. And he looked like he was in big pain.
By the way, they tell me you can say testicles on TV. It's okay. Look, what about the point that, this might have been an acting job by David Defiagbon? Because I've made the point that if it was, he ran the risk of being disqualified. They could well have ruled that not to be a low blow, but a legitimate shot to the solar plexus.
Well, wait a minute. Don't say he would have been disqualified. He wouldn't have been disqualified. He would have just been counted out. Correct. The referee picked up the 8 count. Now, here's how the rule goes, in case you didn't know, of course. They pick up the 8 count. They count to 8. If there is a questionable foul, whether it's a low blow, headbutt, elbow, whatever it is, a foul blow, the referee, if he did not see it, or even if he did, will ask for confirmation from the 5 judges. All it takes for one judge to say, yes, there was a foul. And if the fighter cannot continue as a result of that foul, he is proclaimed the winner by disqualification.
Russ, I'm told that we have the best look at it on a replay, and I maintain that it was right on the belt line. I guess the question is, well, were the shorts low enough that it was a low blow?
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, the belt line in boxing is the belly button, not necessarily where you're wearing your trunks. And we know David to wear his trunks very low around his hip area. So, and I'm not going to say whether it was or wasn't because I didn't get a good look at it, and I'd like to see it again.
Ron, you got a question?
Yes, absolutely. I knew I'd get in there eventually.
Hi, Ron.
Why don't they allow David to just recover, take his due time, and then resume the fight?
That's a good question, Ron, and that's the way it would be in professional boxing as well. You cannot, in professional boxing, they feel you cannot win a fight on a low blow. That is why you wear a no-foul protector. They will give you the necessary time to recover. Usually it's up to about 5 minutes to recover from a low blow. Then they might take a point away from you. That's in professional boxing. In amateur boxing, all fouls are treated equal. Like I said, whether it's an elbow, a headbutt, a low blow, if it's a foul and it is judged so by at least one of the 5 judges, and the fighter cannot continue as a result of the foul, that's the way they go. I wish I could answer you that.
We also point out that with the agony that David Defiagbon was in, or at least appeared to be in, it could have been as much as a 45-minute delay.
The other thing is Mike Strange, and it was a really touching interview, Scott. As so many do when they feel loved, they want to apologize, which was unnecessary, of course. It was a beautiful effort by Mike. But just a brief comment on that before we go to Alison Sider's silver medal.
Well, I thought Mike Strange did all he could in that bout, Ron. He really couldn't have done any better. He followed the fight plan. He had his hands held high. There were very few clean scoring shots to the head, and this appeared to be the day that they decided to change the rules and score body shots. They haven't done it for about 6 years in amateur boxing.
And our concern going in was that they were fighting the Bulgarian, and they were worried. They knew that they'd have to win big, and when he jumped...
Your scoring shots disappeared to mostly into thin air, and he got credit for a lot that didn't seem to land. What did you make of the fight?
In the first round, you know how I always fight, very defensive, and he's a very good counterpuncher, so I want him to tire out, which he did in the third round, and I guess I hear he was up 6-0 after the first, and he didn't land any punches that I know of, so everything
he was up 6-0 and mostly on body shots because you had the good defense going.
Yeah, exactly, and none of the shots bothered me at all, and he was getting tired in the third round. I was catching with some nice shots, and I don't even think they were scoring them. But there's no regrets. I tried my best. I came here for the gold, the one thing, the gold medal. And, you know, I gave it my best shot, and, you know, I just want to apologize to all Niagara Falls because I did give it my best shot, guys.
Mike, I don't think you have much to apologize for.
Oh, you know, Niagara Falls gave me so much support over the years, and
yeah, I think
if I won a medal, I'd like to chop them about 70,000 pieces to get to everyone from the Falls, but unfortunately, I can't do that today, and I did my best, guys. I really did. There's no regrets, and there's no looking back now. I'm just gonna concentrate on whatever's in my future.
I think they're still having a few drinks on you at the Highland Tap.
Oh yeah, guys.
Mike, let me ask you this. Does a loss like that, so seemingly badly judged, damage your faith in amateur boxing?
You know, I love the sport dearly, but you know, just like figure skating and synchronized swimming, diving, there's always a case where the judges take it in their own hands and they give the victory to who they want it. I don't know if they wanted the Bulgarian to win or not, but it should look like that today. But you know, I'm just happy to be here, part of the Canadian Olympic contingent, and it's a great experience for me, and I'll remember it for the rest of my life.
Console yourself with the fact you fought as well as you could?
Yeah, well, I gave it my all. I was in the best shape of my life, and you know, I think maybe it was a case where I wanted it so bad, because in the third rounds I was trying to, Yvonne was telling me to throw off quick combinations, but I just putting everything in every little punch that I could, and I don't know, maybe that threw away from my combinations a bit, but I still thought I scored a lot more than what they accounted for.
All right, Mike, thanks for your time. Congratulations on a fine show.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks to all CBC for following me over the years. Thank you.